Welcome into the Chicago Sports Podcast. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Matt Cooper as we talk everything Chicago sports on this network. And today, the Bulls are the favorites to land Nikola Jokic if traded. You look at that headline, you're like, wait a minute, there's no way that's going to happen, right? That's the first thing that I thought. Then I read the article, I'm like, well, there's never say never. There could be possibilities, and we're going to go over all of that. So we're going to go over why this could be a possibility. We're going to go over the type of season that he's having, the type of season that his team is having, and then what would you have to do in order to put a trade together in order to make this work? So we're going to cover all that on today's show. But before that, make sure you like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, our YouTube page. You'll get all the notifications. We have so much great content that goes out, everything related with Chicago sports. So like and subscribe. You can also share this video with your friends, the diehard Bulls fans. There's been a lot of excitement here with the Bulls, especially over the last 6 weeks. I've been watching every single game. I've been glued to the TV, watching every single game as they've been exciting to watch. And make sure you tell them, hey guys, we got Bulls content, we got Bears content, everything Chicago related on our page here. So the Bulls, are they the favorites to land Nikola Jokic? So this, and you could say he's one of the 5-10 best players. I think he's one of the 5 best players in the league right now, especially after the year he's having this year. And you watch him, especially when they won the championship and everything. But according to WGN, they have him, the odds makers out, as the Bulls, the top landing spot if the Nuggets do decide to trade him. And there's a couple things you could take into effect with this. First off, the Nuggets, they just fired their head coach, Mike Malone, which I would say I'm surprised, but everything that's happened in the NBA this year, I can't say that I am right now. But you read all the different articles. I was reading some of the articles coming in and out, especially out of Denver. You see the different rumors of possible dysfunction going on there. And when you think of the West this year, the West is loaded with great teams as the playoffs, as we get ready here for the playoffs. And when I start thinking of some of the best teams in the West right now, I don't have the Nuggets on my list. Now, could that change once you get in, especially with all the experience that they have? Of course. But when I think of the West, I think of OKC. That's the first team I think of. I think of the Lakers resurgence, especially after their trade, which we're going to get into that in just a little bit. And I start thinking of the Houston Rockets and the type of team that they have this year. And it kind of goes all the way to the middle or near the end when I start thinking about the Nuggets. And you kind of see that with the year that they've had so far. So as we break this down, there could possibility. Okay, so bookies.com is where this came from. That's Adam Thompson. He put together all the hypothetical odds on where he can land. Now, I'm not going to go over each team, but I'll go over the top 5 teams because I feel like they're kind of close with the odds, and then it breaks off just a little bit. But you can certainly check them out too, bookies.com, and they'll have that entire list there. So the Bulls are number 1 plus 500, so that's 16.7%. Brooklyn Nets are right behind them, plus 525, 16%. And then the Houston Rockets plus 600, 14.3%. And then the Spurs plus 625 at 13%. I would be very surprised, especially a team like the Rockets, who I think are one of the best, a great young team. The Spurs are kind of on the rise. Brooklyn, you could see the possibility of them making trades here in the offseason, and then we'll see what happens here with the Bulls. The type of season that Jokic is having right now. Right now, this year, 29.8 per game, so that's 3rd in the league. That's followed by 12.8 rebounds, which is 2nd, 10.2 assists, and he's 57.5 from field goal, which is 9th. So that is a hell of a year that he's having right now. And when you see stats like that for a superstar player, there's a couple things that I think of. And then you guys could comment, and love to see your comments as we go along with this too and see if you guys agree. But when I think of great players, and you just heard the stats right there, I think of players that are not only really good at their craft, but he's very good at creating opportunities for his teammates. And if you go back and watch Nuggets games, you can see that about the opportunities that he does create, especially the type of players he puts them in the position where they need to be in. Just watch that year that they won the championship. You'll see what I'm saying. And it's going to take a lot to get this. So what would a trade look like if we were to think that this could possibly happen? And I guess it all depends too on how the Nuggets do here in the playoffs. Are they going to make a run? Are they going to be done after the first round? We're going to find that out here soon. So I think that could all lead to what can happen afterwards. So the first 2 things that I thought of when I thought of superstar trades was the Donovan Mitchell trade, and of course the trade that happened this year with the Luka Doncic trade when he got traded to the Lakers. Now the Donovan Mitchell trade, if you go back when he was traded to the Cavaliers, I think the Jazz made up pretty well in this trade, okay? So the Jazz received 3 players. They took Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton and 3 unprotected first-round picks for 2025, 2027, and 2029. They also have 2 pick swaps for 2026 and 2028. Now, this is for Donovan Mitchell, who I think is a very good player. I think the Cavs are one of the best teams in the league this year. They wouldn't be there without him and the way he's played. But do you consider Donovan Mitchell one of the top 5 players, best players in the NBA this year? I don't. Do I think he's a top 10? Yes, we can make that argument. But is he a top 5? That could be debatable. So we'll get to that in 1 second. And then the trade that obviously we think of too is the Luka trade that happened this year that surprised all of us. So while I think the Jazz made out pretty well in their trade for Donovan Mitchell, I don't think the Mavs made out very well with their trade. You could see that everywhere too, especially when you talk to people from Dallas. Just talk to people from Dallas when you talk about the Luka trade, and they blow their minds are just blown away. And you could see that when they were playing each other when he made his return to Dallas, and they're still cheering him the entire time. So Dallas sent Luka, Max, and Markieff Morris to Dallas for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. I don't think that's enough for the Luka trade. I think you need multiple first-round picks in order to make that trade. Look to what you think would be compatible for the Dallas Mavericks. And everything about this, I don't know what's going to happen with that team. Is their GM even going to be there after the season? I don't know. We're going to find all that out. So I just gave you kind of an examples of what would it take to get a superstar to the team. So what would it look like if the Bulls wanted to make that trade? I think if you're going to do the unprotected first-round picks, it'd probably be 4 of them. I think it's going to start with that. If you're talking about players, kind of like a salary swap, Nikola Vucevic is also a center. So is Jokic. So I think you would have to start matching up the type of trades for that. Would you trade Nikola and throw in the picks, kind of like what we just discussed here with the Donovan Mitchell trade with the Cavs? Or if this would happen with the Nuggets, they're doing a complete teardown. You're not just trading a top 5 player and you're not tearing everything else out. If they trade him, Murray's going to be traded. Westbrook's going to be out of there. They're going to revamp that entire team. And it's going to kind of look like what the Jazz looked like when they traded Donovan Mitchell. So I don't necessarily think they're going to be looking for players in return. Like, I don't think like a Kobe White or Domantas Sabonis, I don't think they would be part of a trade package that would be sent over to them. I think they're going to be looking for all the draft picks. So would you do the unprotected draft picks, or would you say we're going to give you our 2025 first round, our 2026 first round, and then you start from there, and then you start doing the salary swaps? I think that's where it's going to start, and it's going to be a lot for this trade in order for it to happen. Now, if it's just the Bulls, if this does happen in the offseason, it's going to be what package is going to be best. It's kind of like baseball. It's kind of about like what we heard all season, like what type of trade you're going to make to get your star player to come over here. It's going to start with one team, and then they're going to be kind of going back and forth. But that means it's going to be a complete teardown for the Denver Nuggets, and they're going to be looking for all and every draft pick they can possibly get. So with that being said, my opinion, do I think this trade's going to happen? No, I don't. I just don't. I don't see how the Denver Nuggets do that. Even if they decide to start over again, even if they decide to do their rebuild, I still think when you have a player like that, ask the Dallas Mavericks, when you have a player like that, you just don't let those type of players get away. You don't let a top 5 player like that go somewhere else and rebuild over again, because where are you going to find that in the draft? You tell me. Are you going to find that in the draft? Are you going to find another top 5 player again? Because it's so freaking hard to do that, especially in the draft, especially the NBA draft. Like, even as we're talking about the draft this year, Cooper Flagg was going to be the number 1 pick. And we all think it's going to be the number 1 pick. Is he going to be the next superstar in the league? I think he's going to be a very good player, but that is to be determined. That's just so much harder in the NBA. So will the Denver Nuggets go ahead and pull the trigger to make that trade? I don't think it's – I just don't. Even if they go out in the first round, I don't think it's going to happen. I can't see it. I think they start over again. They find out what they want to do for their head coach. They find out how the direction or what type of direction they want to go in, and maybe they just kind of do a start over again. But it's fun to talk about. It's fun to have that, and it's fun to see that when you see that popping up, because WGN had that out there, and then I went on the Yahoo.com on their sports section, and they picked up and they started talking a little bit about that. I'm like, oh, okay, I see this is going now. So I would love to know what you think. What would it take to make that trade happen for Nikola Jokic? What do you think? Do you think it would take multiple first-round picks? Do you think it'll take future first-round picks? Do you think it'll take existing players? You guys can put that in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I'm going to go through it, and then we can make this. We can talk about this again in the summertime when those rumors and everything starts popping up again, because I'm excited to see where that goes. So thank you guys for watching. You can share this video with your friends. Let them know about the Chicago Sports Podcast. We have sports Chicago content going out all the time. Not only Bulls, But as we get ready for the playoffs here for the Bulls, but also for the Bears, especially with the draft coming up, and we talk everything Chicago sports here. So you can like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and then you can share this with your friends, and we'll be excited to meet some new friends. That's what we're all about here, man. We're all friends. We're all friends just talking sports, and that's what we love around here on the Chicago Sports Podcast. Been here from day one with our good friend Brandon Trax, who runs everything. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will talk to you soon.